Hey everyone, Brody here with our new channel, Let's Table It, where we get games to the table. I was sent a new copy of Air, Land, and Sea Critters at War by Arcane Wonders. This is a two-player only war game, card game, where players will vie for control over each theater of war by placing out cards in those theaters. It's a fast game, and it is a game that I think should be in every board gamer's collection to be able to play. The game is played over a series of rounds called battles, and to win a battle, you must either control more theaters than your opponent after both players have played all their cards, or you convince your opponent to withdraw, then that round ends. If you win a battle, you earn victory points represented by tokens, and the first player to reach 12 victory points will win the game. During a battle, players take turns placing out one card at a time, trying to control more theaters than your opponent. There are 18 total cards in the game, and they are shuffled, and each player is dealt out a hand of 6 cards each. There are 3 theater boards placed out, and each creates a column between the players. One is for air, one is for land, and the other one is for the sea. Cards are placed in one of the 3 theaters, and each player owns all the cards on their side of that theater, and during your turn you will play cards to only your side of the theaters. Cards are played to advance your war effort, and how you play them will ultimately determine who wins the war and the game. Each card has a strength value listed on the top left, and if the total value of the strength of all of your cards on your side in that specific theater is higher than the total strength of all the cards of your opponents on their side in that same theater, then you will control that theater. Many of the cards have their own tactical abilities listed next to their strength, and this ability takes effect when the card is played and it's face up. There are instant abilities and different ongoing abilities as well. In addition, there are 3 types of cards represented by its color and icon: white for air, green for land, and blue for sea, and these colors are related to the 3 theaters. Normally, you can only play a card face up in its matching theater, but you can always place any card face down as a wild card in any theater, which will have a strength of 2 and have no tactical abilities. Now, there are abilities that will let players flip over cards, and at any time a player can examine their own cards flipped face down, but never their opponent's cards placed face down. You will have one card on top of each theater at a time. When you play a second card, it will be placed so that it overlaps the previously played out cards while still showing the top portion so everyone can see. During a battle, players take turns, starting with the player who has the first player Supreme Commander card, and you must take one of 3 actions. Deploy, play one card from your hand face up. Improvise, where you play one card from your hand face down in any theater. Again, face down cards can be played in any theater regardless of type that they are. And lastly, you can withdraw. If you think your chances of winning the current battle is low, then you may want to withdraw, and if you do, your opponent wins the battle. But no, it might be best to withdraw in order to deny your opponent with more victory points. Once you have performed your action, the other player then goes and does their action. And this continues with alternating turns until one of the players withdraws or both players have played all of their cards. If either player withdraws, the player who has a higher strength in 2 of the theaters will win that battle and get 6 victory points. If a player withdraws, the other player scores points shown on the Supreme Commander card, and it is based on how many cards that the withdrawing player has left in their hand. The longer that you wait to withdraw, then the more points that your opponent will score. After scoring, if a player has 12 or more points, the game ends. If not, set up and fight another battle. You do this by shuffling all 18 cards to deal out 6 new ones to each player, and then rotate the theater cards, taking one on the right and moving it all the way to the one on the left. The Supreme Commander card is then exchanged to the other player, and you will play another battle. And, well, that's Air, Land, and Sea Critters at War. Again, this is a game that belongs in everyone's collection. It's such a nice 1-versus-1 game without being overly mean, as there is some direct conflict with players facing off against each other. But the real magic in this game is definitely the card abilities and using them with other cards to do the best with the cards that you have and the cards that your opponent has. You will use 6 out of the possible 18 cards, and your opponent has another 6, so 6 cards are not used in each battle. And this, gives a good amount of variety, but it also isn't a game that gives you just, too much stuff that it creates a lot of confusion. Scoring is also done very well with deciding to withdraw early. As you know, you will lose, but then you won't score, as many points against you. So players should know their limits and know that you might not have good cards and be okay to give the win to the other player, but also give them less points rather than playing through a battle and losing that way and giving them more points. But you never know what's going to happen in the battle as well. Again, this is Brody with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We are new and working hard to bring to you videos like this one, so you know if these games are the ones that you want to get to your own table.